If you're tired of boring textbooks and confusing grammar rules, this is for you. Every day, we bring you a brand new story that's exciting, easy to understand, and full of real English. You'll learn without even realizing it. Today's story follows a guy who decides to walk through Barcelona without a map, trying to reach Camp Nou Stadium. But what happens on the way is not what he expected. Hit like, subscribe, and let's go. Luca had always been the kind of guy who hated using maps. Even in a new city, even when getting lost was easy, he liked the feeling of not knowing exactly where he was. It made him feel free, like anything could happen. That morning, he stepped out of his small hotel room in the middle of Barcelona with just one goal. Reach Camp Nou, the famous stadium. No GPS. No printed map. No asking for directions. Just his feet and his gut. The sun was already warm. The streets were alive with sounds, voices in Catalan and Spanish, music from cafes, dogs barking, scooters zooming past. The city smelled like fresh bread and orange trees. He had no idea where the stadium was. And that was the point. He turned left onto a narrow street with clothes hanging from windows and old stone buildings on both sides. He walked past a small bakery and felt his stomach growl, but he ignored it. He had a destination, even if he didn't know how far it was. A few blocks later, the buildings opened into a plaza. Children were kicking a ball around. A woman painted birds on a canvas. Luca smiled and kept walking. Every corner seemed to bring something new. A hidden garden, a stairway leading somewhere mysterious, an old man playing the violin under a tree. He passed through a market next, rows of fruit stands, fresh seafood, baskets of olives, people calling out prices he didn't understand. He walked slowly, taking it all in. Someone handed him a slice of melon. He nodded in thanks and kept moving. At one point, he followed a man carrying a football jersey. The man turned into a small alley, and Luca followed, thinking maybe this was the way. But the alley didn't lead to a stadium. It led to a dead end with walls covered in colorful graffiti. He paused, stared at the art, a huge lion made of stars, a hand holding a glowing ball, a word he couldn't read. Still no stadium. He turned around and kept going. After about an hour, his legs were getting tired. The sun was higher now. He sat on a bench in a tiny park and pulled out a bottle of water. Around him, people walked dogs, read books, or talked quietly on their phones. He considered asking someone for help. But then he saw a boy juggling a soccer ball on the grass. The boy wore an old jersey, red and blue. Camp Nou colors. Luca stood up and followed the boy when he left. He kept a distance, didn't make it obvious. The boy walked fast, through side streets and up a small hill. Luca kept going, even as his legs burned. At the top of the hill, the boy turned right and disappeared. Luca stood there, panting. And then he saw it. Not the stadium, not yet. But a sign, Avinguda de Joan XXIII. He had seen that name on a brochure in the hotel lobby. It meant he was getting closer. He started walking again, down the other side of the hill. The buildings looked newer here, wider roads, more traffic. He passed a bus stop, then a group of tourists taking photos of a giant metal sculpture. Then the weather changed. Clouds rolled in quickly, and the sky turned grey. The wind picked up, blowing leaves down the street. Rain started, soft at first, then stronger. He ducked under a tree, but it didn't help much. His shirt was soaked in minutes. He laughed out loud. What a day. Then something strange happened. From across the street, an old man waved at him. He was sitting under a wide stone archway, dry and calm. Luca crossed the street and joined him. The man didn't speak English. Luca didn't speak Spanish. But the man smiled, nodded, and pointed to a direction. Down the road, left at the traffic light, then straight. Then he pointed at Luca's shirt and gave a thumbs up. It took Luca a second, but he got it. The man thought he was going to the stadium. Luca smiled and nodded. Gracias. He followed the directions. The rain slowed. The city seemed quieter now. The sounds of traffic were soft, like whispers. He kept walking, thinking about how far he had come, how many places he had passed. It felt like he had walked through 5 cities. Finally, he turned one last corner. There it was. Camp Nou. Big, bold, beautiful. Even in the grey light, it looked powerful. The walls curved like waves. Flags danced in the wind. The gates were closed. There was no game today, but that didn't matter. He had made it. By walking. By getting lost and following clues. He stood there for a long time, just watching. He thought about how he almost gave up, how he could have taken a taxi, or checked his phone. But then he wouldn't have seen the plaza, or the graffiti lion, or the old man who gave him silent directions. He took a deep breath. Then, slowly, he turned around and started walking again. Back into the city. You just learned a lot without noticing. As you followed Luca through the streets of Barcelona, your brain picked up tons of natural English. You heard phrases like, he kept a distance, the rain slowed, he considered asking for help, and it felt like he had walked through 5 cities. These are real, useful expressions you'll hear in movies and daily life. And now you've learned them, just by enjoying a story. That's the magic of learning through storytelling. It's not about pressure. It's about feeling the language in action. And we're here with new stories for you every day. Would you walk through a city without a map? Have you ever found something amazing by getting lost? Tell us in the comments. And don't forget, like this video, hit subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss another daily English story. See you tomorrow with another exciting adventure.